We talked here at the IATA Retailing Symposium in the last 2 days already a lot about the ambitions of airlines to become proper retailers and to also use the simplicity and flexibility of NDC and one order to support this. And a lot of comments were made about we would like to be faster. Speed is essential. I'm actually very honored and happy to be here with 4 best-in-breed companies who cooperate and work together in order to make true retailing happen now. And I would like to briefly introduce you. There are 2 of you who have been in the airlines for many, many years and experienced actually from the airline perspective what it's like to work with legacy technology, and you decided to move to a technology company in order to actually develop the solutions that you were always looking for. 15 years Air France KLM, Hélène Millet, you are now with Conztanz, and we will hear a little bit more about that in a second. And Amadeus, TUI Travel, and 10 years Lufthansa before joining Interest. Alexander von Bernstorff, we've already seen your presentation this morning. And payment, we discussed already several times. It's part of, in the new world, it's part of the whole offer process. Urs Kipfer from Datatrans, welcome. And dynamic pricing, it was mentioned several times as a key part of retailing, so welcome as well Peter Schöber from Lufthansa Systems. Can we imagine for a short moment that we are all together in an elevator and we all leave at the next floor? In this period, can you tell us what it is that your organization, that your solution for airline retailing is actually doing? Can we start with you, Peter?
Yeah. Well, we offer a dynamic spot price solution, and so it calculates the price in the moment when the shopping request is getting in, and this is free of RDBs, no booking classes, and this price will be given to the order management system, one order. And further, we as Lufthansa Systems, we know how to do the revenue accounting and how this is integrated in the one order as well, and several things around.
Thank you. Alexander.
Yeah, our airline retail engine is an offer and order management system, truly native to NDC in one order. We build it from scratch and strictly around retailing procedures.
Thank you. Urs.
Datatrans PCI Proxy is a payment service provider based in Switzerland. We're offering solutions for payment processing and PCI compliance.
Thank you. And Hélène?
Well, and Conztanz make the link in between the NDC world and the old world with this travel data agility platform.
And Hélène and Alexander, you from the airline perspective have seen the limitations of what you could do on the distribution side. Since then, now NDC has really gained a lot of traction. What do you as a group do differently to others?
I think so. Definitely, we are not here to fill old wine into new bottles. I think it's 3 things that mainly differentiate us. So first is our mindset is aligned. We're all here to enable true modern digital retailing to airlines. Obviously based on dynamic offers and dynamic pricing. Then we all concentrate on what we can do best. So that's the best of breed approach. And third, it's all about giving flexibility to the airline. So we use open systems, modern architecture. We can connect. And we can work as a team, but we also work with other vendors and then connect with them, and there is no hidden agenda as to whom we work with or whom not.
Hélène?
Yeah, indeed, I agree. And well, but to come back to retailing for an airline is definitely not only selling bags and seats. It has to go beyond that. It has to go, and an airline has to be able to sell third-party services. But for the moment, the adoption rate is quite limited. And why is that so? It's because stakeholders, I'm talking about the consumer, I'm talking about the providers, they are not fully convinced that it would have an added value to let the airline sell those kind of services. Let me give an example. Suppose a customer wants to be delivered with a bunch of flowers when he arrives at the airport. He will go to the florist he knows, right? And he won't go to the airline unless he knows that the airline will tell the florist if the flight has been cancelled and if he will arrive the next day. And if this happens, then everybody's happy. The flowers are fresh, and the florist has prepared the bunch of flowers on the right time, and the airline has sold something. So that's really the way to go. That's the way the one order capability gives us, and we have decided to offer this service from the start. So that's very good. And also to come back to our airline experience, we have seen all the issues that the current legacy world had, and we strongly believe in the opportunities that the new world is capable of giving to this industry. It's just that it might not improve the way the industry works if we don't go the whole way. So Alexander was talking about a mindset, and really the mindset is to say that we need to go the whole way. We need to do it all. We shouldn't avoid doing it only partly. So basically, just to come back to your picture, is to put new wine into new bottles. But I don't totally agree with you, in fact. We should allow to have also old wine into those new bottles, because some of you might want to ensure a certain continuity in their operations.
Flowers and wine, I'm in heaven. It's actually rare to find very good old wine, but it's good to know that it can be put as well in the new bottles. What exactly does your solution really look like? And what does it take? How does it help to go all the way, as Hélène said? And what can actually customers in the end regard as, what is the end game scenario?
The end game scenario for me is clearly that it's more relevant and more easy and more fun for the consumer, and to put the consumer in the center. And then there will be more loyal and happier customers and more revenues for the airlines.
Thank you, Hélène.
Yeah, and we ensure continuity by putting all the data together, the one from the old and the new world.
Urs?
We make sure that the whole NDC process is fully PCI compliant, and that the credit cards used for payment are valid.
And Peter?
Well, we develop the solutions in a microservice-based, scalable environment, cloud-based. So that's state of the art and how you develop software today.
Thank you. I think the question which airlines will ask immediately, how can we go for this? It sounds great, covers the whole retail sales journey, but how could we start and implement this without any risk to the current business?
So risk sounds familiar. So I've worked for an airline. I also studied risk management. So without risk, it doesn't work. But the best risk mitigation tool that we have is agile, and that's not a buzzword for us. It's actually in our contracts. And yeah, that's to mitigate risk. And also we have to look at other industries, how they test, fail, learn, improve. So that has to be in our DNA.
And also we perfectly know that we will have the old world for a while. It's not a matter of avoiding transition, it's to be able to cope with it and to ensure by putting the data together that we are capable of having enough flexibility to be able to serve the customer on the right way with all the transparency that we own him. Whatever channel he chooses to buy on.
It seems we talk about evolution rather than revolution. Let's look at this a little bit deeper. Peter, could you give an example? We talked about smooth transition. What could a smooth transition look like?
Well, you can start with a market segment. You can start with a sales channel and set up this new environment. And you see one order, payment, parallel to the existing world, as we heard this morning several times from other speakers. And start with that small market. It's a low risk because the existing business continues, and then scale it up if it's working fine.
In the panel this morning, we were hearing that actually best in breed, it's a very good option versus, it doesn't really matter if it's best in breed, several suppliers versus just a one-stop vendor. But doesn't it mean much more work on the procurement side and much more complexity?
I can take this one. In fact, if we are talking about 4 providers, that doesn't mean 4 contracts. What's really an advantage in our case is that we perfectly know our business, we know what we can do, we know what we cannot do, and we are happy to share that with our customer. So this leads to very lean processes in terms of procurement and very lean contract too.
Another question is, how long does it really take? If I take the example of the retail engine, Alexander, if I can call it your solution this way, how long to develop a use case? How long would this take to set up?
Not long, so based on the 4 PSS that we have integrated already, it's a matter of weeks rather than months.
Wow. And knowing you, it's serious and no doubt about this. So, Urs, what does this mean in this setup? What does the payment processing look like?
Well, actually, the tokenization and authorization are fully integrated in the NDC order process. This means that we have only paid orders in our system, and the full process is PCI compliant. And moreover, the whole thing can be set up within 5 days. So it's quite fast.
Great. Can we do a little game? And I give a word, and you just tell me very short and sharp your association with the word. Can we start with Hélène? You're smiling. Let's start with you. Personalization.
I would say it's more like a matter of what the customer wants. If the customer wants to get personalized offer and he wants to share his data, let's go for it. If he rather not, we will stay anonymous. The key point is really that now we are capable of propose to the customer what the customer wants.
Cloud as the new normal?
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, cloud is the new normal, and so as we heard this morning as well, it's going to be normal to develop in such a scalable microservice, self-contained environment, and bring it to the cloud, connect easily to other suppliers.
Customer service, Alexander.
Customer service that's all over the place today, and it's often embarrassing for the customer. So the way we use NDC in one order, we can help the airlines completely streamlining the interaction with the customer along the entire customer journey.
Collaboration with partners, Urs.
So it's, from our point of view, it's about mindset, it's about lead, and it's about responsibility.
Last one, innovation with speed. Who wants to take that one?
I can take it. It's innovation. We are because our systems, our solutions are open and we use state-of-the-art technology. We can connect much faster with other systems and be more innovative. And I think we are better because we all concentrate on what we can do best.
Thank you. If you have to give one recommendation to a decision maker at an airline, the CEO, CCO, CIO, head of distribution, what is it? What should they take away from this discussion? Can you start, Peter?
Yeah, the technology is there, so it's a question of the mindset doing the next step, and you don't have to wait for the technology. So do the first step and start implementing the new world.
Urs?
Well, it's about picking the right partners, meeting partners that are flexible and have the right service attitude.
What do you recommend, Hélène?
Well, as we are very likely to stay with those NDC, non-NDC world coexisting, I will just say that we're going to leave a transition, but people shouldn't fear this transition. We know about it, we care about it, we take care about it. So let's go for it and work together on that.
Alexander?
Don't be afraid of leaving the comfort zone, I would say, and experience how effective and efficient at the same time it is to work with agile suppliers and partners.
And I think it's also a fair summary to say there are huge opportunities of working with best in breed as an airline, in particular in this really dynamic environment which is out there now. And I've learned that best in breed offers a lot of flexibility. It's almost mix and match. It's open. It allows airlines to go ahead the way they want to go ahead. So it's almost like a bigger risk not to move ahead than just going for it and seizing those opportunities. Would you agree with this? And I'm actually very happy if I think about how big the problems were in the past when the technological solutions weren't out there. Now it means actually that airlines can really move ahead now, today, and thanks to IATA NDC and One Order and to suppliers as yourselves. And I can only recommend to everyone to really move ahead and talk to Hélène, Peter, Alexander and Urs. Use the opportunities whilst you're here at this event. You've got the joint booth. Alexander already mentioned it this morning. So I think it will be an experience to even see a little bit of your solutions and touch them and get a better idea about them. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for the discussion.